right now.
Big net. Slapped that cleverly by Chandler to Windsor. Under the chest of Latrell Pickett. Fritsch wants it in the pocket. He gets his chance. And he takes the mark. Can he take the opportunity with the kick?
That's one of the most Melbourne's best passage of play.
It was. And it's one thing that Fritsch obviously plays on. They're going to line him up. One thing he does really well is he identifies dangerous space really quickly.
Because he identifies the option pretty quick, and gee, hand delivered that.
We wait, we watch, and we see a fifth Melbourne goal of the quarter. And the margin is reduced to 20 points. And they can now feel the breath on their back, the Blues.
Spot on, Hutto. Well, after kicking one goal in the dying moments of the first half, the D's, 5 straight from their 11 inside 50. So this is Fritsch. So he already reads the cues that Pickett's going to get that lead up. And I want to be the next person that gets the ball regardless of where it is. So the pocket's probably not the ideal spot. We understand that. But he's already off. Flooring his direct opponent. He hasn't read it as quick. And then you're asking Dean to try and make up for that lost space and lost time. 20 points, game on.
Well, there's a 17-day break, but the Blues fans and Vossi are right back where they were 17 days ago.
The only way they can do something about it is to maintain their intensity and see and hold off the Demons. Keep playing attacking footy.
Well, their accuracy has been a problem for them in this term, Carlton. In Melbourne, well, their accuracy has magnified their game.
I wonder if Matt Score can inspire them, as he has for so many of those 250 games. Pickett's back out there, which is good news. Short to Hewitt. Blues across the MCG now. Exploring that southern wing. Cowan to Hollands.
So trying to put Cripps in the forward line, he's just having no influence through the middle.
Chesser, Mackay and McDonald. Call that a draw. Sparrow bats it away. Tolstrup to the voice of Langford. Chesser. Mackay scrapped the kick away. His direct opponent there is Tom McDonald. Assistance from Sparrow. He's had a big quarter. High ball for Cowan. Had to wait an age underneath it, and he didn't flinch. He didn't blink. He just watched the share, and he scrubs the kick forward to Cripps. Made things awkward, but he's got strength. Good tackle in the end. There's no contact on the kick. And Langdon's rewarded.
Yeah, I think forward is his go for a period of time. Get some more run through the middle of the ground for the Blues.
It was a case of handballing to who, not where, as he gave it to Pickett. It was on the back foot. Out to Van Rooyen. Out wide it goes, and Langford pulls it down. Takes a fine mark. And off the left boot, Fritsch on his mind again, and it sticks. This is a transformed Melbourne team all of a sudden.
I'm not sure what that man on screen, Stephen King, would have been saying to the troops at half-time. But it would have been around, let's take some dare, let's take some risks. That's a fantastic mark. I didn't love the kick. I thought it was actually a little bit too central and too far out from goal. And Fritsch made it worthwhile.
He was the most targeted player last week, and he's shaping as the key for a big Demons comeback. It took them almost a half to kick their first goal, and now they've got 7 on the board. It's getting real again for Michael Voss. It's back to 14 points.
So if we just take a moment and put yourself in the shoes of Michael Voss and the D's as we have a look at, and the Blues as we have a look at this replay, which Fritsch makes a really, well, it's an okay kick, but it makes it look really good by the way that it finished. But they've been in this situation so many times. We hear about clubs going through scenarios and how much time they spend on it at training. They've been in the first couple of games. They get over the line 17 days ago against the Tigers by 4 points. But this is actually where it counts. Start to implement it right now. You look at your leaders, Walsh, Hewitt, Cripps in the midfield, Pickett running and jumping at max score.
Rumble around the MCG. Blues out of the middle through Walsh. Plays it very wide for Evans. Tolstrup with him. And takes him and the football to the line. Melbourne fans trying to play their part. Pickett forming up with Gawn yet again. Pickett out of the ruck. Ainsworth did well. Sparrow did better. D's are able to chain it up. House, now they can get adventurous. Back to Pickett. Knew that he couldn't take possession. Langdon to Fritsch. That's not far off.
All coming from a clearance. Steele covered off on Cripps. Just knocked it forward just tiny bit. Couple of knock-ons. Jeez, there's the one magnificent knock-on.
Williams is pretty sore being helped from the ground at the moment.
Which is a shame because he was their only really big possession winner in the second quarter.
Well, he was the one that tried to initiate getting to Cozzy Pickett to put that bump on. He's come off second best. I feel like this happens to him quite often. He normally finds a way to get back onto the ground. Cozzy Pickett gives him a mouthful as well afterwards.
I'd say that's a couple of cracked ribs. He got right in there.
He has got a lot of injuries over the journey. He was the one that kicked the winner against Richmond. Their only goal of the second half last game. Zach Williams. So they won't be with him just for a period of time at least. Well, Carroll's got work to do here, and he does that.
Well, I reckon if they're going to look at negatives through the 17 days, the question will be how do we take a positive on the fact that we've got these statues in the second half, and they're back to the statues.
Yeah, negatives are mounting up here. Cully, not for Melbourne though. Windsor, he's got the trail in the pocket. He thinks he can go the journey himself.
Nice work.
And Myercheck covered well by Wiedering.
That wasn't a kick for Windsor. It was an attempt for goal, and it wasn't to the top of the goal square, so Wiedering couldn't spoil it through. At least it would have made him put a play on the footy.
So we keep going like this, Melbourne win, Del. So Carlton have got to change something, and it's really a mindset. Are we going to start attacking, or are we just going to go back into the old defence mechanism, roll back and no ball movement?
Lawrence and Mackay, who's come up to provide assistance, not going to be paid the mark. Oh, Cripps. Blindsided, Cully with the tackle, Demons with the initiative, and the football on the wing. They've kicked 6 goals to 2 in the third quarter. Windsor, they're creating havoc everywhere. Carlton defence under siege at the moment. Fritsch again! Not far off. Chandler, Steele, Langford, Latrell Pickett. Back to Langford again. A pot shot. Out on the foot.
Cripps with BOG at quarter time.
Yep.
He's really struggled since. The Blues are starting to go down the mine. He's just needs a spell in that forward half or on the bench, get some more pace in the middle. Even if it was Hayward or Florida or somebody different, just to change it up a little bit. This bloke in particular, I think, has got so much talent to play midfield.
Outscored 12 goals to 4 by the Swans in the third quarter, and then 2-6 to 4 behinds by the Tigers. They just hung on, as we know, under pressure again. It's been 6 goals to 2 in this term. Pickett forward again. The tackle from Ainsworth. Timing was impeccable. And we'll see what it means to his teammates.
Jared, you speak about Cripps and the possibility going forward. He's only had the 3 disposals. There's only 2 minutes to play, so I'd keep him there for the remainder and then readdress that conversation at 3/4 time.
Gawn, great tap to Windsor, feeding it inside, no mark. Florent. Kemp at the back with large strides. At the front, the ball is Melbourne's. Again, Lindsay and Langford combining. Langdon takes them wide. Van Rooyen, and they'd probably rather him be a target inside, but he has the job of finding a target. Cully, well done, well done.
That is good football.
And he completed the play too, didn't he? Didn't just...
Well, that's the Wiedering at his best, and intercepting adding to his defence. And he's never been the biggest interceptor, but that takes him to a whole new level.
Margin is down to 12. High ball out wide. Petty had eyes for it all the way, and he's fist into it now. Interesting week. Last week, of course, with the taunt. Body language says it all for Michael Voss at the moment. The ruck wrestle, Gawn fiercely taps it down to Hewitt. Handcuffed, but gets it away to Walsh. Prolonged tackle by Sharp. Went underwater, but he does help.
That's good pressure.
That was.
He's had a terrific game, Chandler, but he just ran into too many bullets there.
Walsh. 40 seconds left. A goal could mean so much. Mackay needs it. It's Carlton will get that opportunity.
Max looks like he's a metre above where Mackay took the grab.
Seconds tick down. Dying seconds of this third quarter. And out of pit nets, clutches by Tommy McDonald at his 250th. Melbourne had the motivation. Two of their great warriors, and Tom McDonald and Max Gawn, by their 250th game. They've closed to within 12 points. 19 precious seconds remaining in the third. Gawn fisted away to relative safety. Taken over by Shaq.
That's 25 metres for free there from Max Gawn. It's actually not a bad play just to get it out of the defensive 50. Last opportunity can only be for the Blues, so D's on high alert.
10 seconds left. Has to be perfect for Carlton. Great tackle from Pickett. Now Latrell Pickett goes after it. Van Rooyen. Carlton led by 43 points at one stage. Now they lead by 12. They are facing the same problems. Have they got a solution this time, the Blues? A fascinating quarter of football ahead, both sides looking for their second win of the season. Melbourne have mounted a sterling comeback. Can they keep that going in the final term? Bailey Fritz was a star. He kicked 2 goals in the third term. How is this game going to win? We'll find out shortly on the Sunday Ticket. And after the footy's finished, it's your typical Sunday night with the team from Bounce all the way.
All right, folks, there we go. 3/4 time here at the MCG. A beautiful afternoon, 19 degrees, sunny day, perfect day for football. And it's Carlton leading the way by 2 goals here at 3/4 time. 9-8-62. Melbourne, though, 7-8-50. Coming home like a steam train. Melbourne putting on 6 goals, 2 in that third term. Carlton, 2 goals, 4. Tell you what, Carlton look like they're starting to slow down, running out of legs. I tell you what, it's going to be, Melbourne looks like they could be hard to stop, but the siren has come at the right time for the Blue Baggers. I think they'll certainly be happy they can just go in, reset on this 5-minute break. Coach will have a few words to them, try to fix up a few things, and try to come back out into this game and be competitive. But certainly it was good news for Carlton. The siren went because Melbourne was certainly coming hard. As you can see by the worm, Carlton jumped out of the box early. Jager Smith was the first goal scorer in the match. Got up here to about 42 points up, and then Melbourne started to peg their way back and certainly did a good job in that third term, getting within 2 goals of the Blue Baggers here with a quarter to play. Tell you what, we're in for a ring-a-ding-ding final quarter here, folks. Let's just have a look at the live ladder as it stands. So if this is the way it stands, Carlton will be 10th on the ladder if they happen to win this game. Melbourne will be still down there in 15th with just 1 win. Carlton 2 wins if they happen to win. That is just the live ladder at the moment. Looking at the goal scorers so far in this game, though, up until 3/4 time, and it's Mitch McGovern, Blue Baggers Mitch McGovern topping the table there with 3 goals. He's kicked 3 goals too from his 7 kicks, has Mitch. Jager Smith has a single. Harry Mackay has a single. Elijah Hollins has a single. Paddy Cripps also a single. And Byrne and Ainsworth single goal scorers there for Carlton. For Melbourne, Bailey Fritsch, he looked reasonably good in that third term there. He's got 2 goals, 1, the leading goal scorer there for Melbourne. Tom Sparrow's got 1. Brody Mychek, a little bit, well, not overly accurate there. He's kicked 1 goal, 2 from his 5 kicks as Brody. I tell you what, he can come into it if he has a good final term. Langford's got 1. Ed Langdon has got a goal also. And Cade Chandler, the other single goal scorer there for Melbourne. Let's have a look at the ball magnets out on the ground. She's pretty even on the disposal count so far up until 3/4 time. Tom Sparrow for Melbourne, though, tops the table. He's on 22 disposals. That consists of 12 kicks, 10 handballs. He's also had 2 marks, 7 tackles, 5 clearance, and kicked 1 goal, 1. So he's having a great game there for Melbourne. Kaiser Pickett, next best there for Melbourne on 21 touches, 5 clearances, and Caleb Windsor 19 for Melbourne. Best for Carlton, Sam Walsh doing his work there. 21 touches midfield, 10 kicks, 7 handballs, 7 tackles, 3 clearances, 1 behind. So he's going pretty well. Still would like to see a big quarter from him in the final term. Jager Smith on 20 touches there for the Blues with that 1 goal, couple clearances. Zach Williams on 19. Jack Steele for Melbourne, 18 touches. He's had 12 tackles, so he's really putting the pressure on the Carlton players there. Maxi Gawn, as Maxi does, he's having a fantastic game. 16 touches for him, 9 kicks, 7 handballs. He's had 40 hit-outs, 3 clearances, so doing really, really well is the big man, Maxi Gawn. Let's just roll down a little bit because we're going to head back to the commentators there. Marcia Pinay, he's had 14 hit-outs also, 6 touches, 2 kicks, and 4 kicks and 2 handballs. There are your player stats up until three-quarter time. I tell you what, folks, we're in for a ring-a-ding-ding game here. I think Carlton supporters, you'll be biting your fingernails. You'll be a little bit nervous going into this final term. 20 minutes plus extra time to play, so it probably could go to about 30. Melbourne fans, they're sitting on the edge of their seats, hoping they can continue what they did in the third term there. But it's Carlton by 2 goals here at three-quarter time, going into the final final quarter. There we go. All right, we're only about 15 seconds away before the bounce of the ball. For the final quarter, we're in for a ring-a-ding-ding. Don't forget to vote who you think's going to win. So far, we've got 62% saying Melbourne's going to win this game, even though the Blue Baggers are up by 2 goals. All right, folks, that's enough for me. Let's head back down to the commentators, and they're going to take us into the bounce of the ball for the final quarter here at the MCG, whereas Carlton leading by 12 points.
It's been a great turnaround, but even though the margin is in favour of the Blues by 12 points, the question is, who is actually going to stand up and do something different to the first 2 weeks in this last quarter from the Blues?
Ballaghan and Cripps, he's the skipper straight back in there. Jagger Smith is hopefully going to get his moves going, and Walsh also. So they've gone back to their big 3, even though one's in his second year. Cossey's the one, though. Cossey Pickett. If they don't put a leg rope on Cossey, he's going to make a mess of them.
So the Carlton nerves are jangling around the MCG. Their lead has been cut from 43 down to 12. 30 minutes to decide it. Gawn starts with a stylish tap to Steele. Sharp underneath it, worked underneath it by Hollands. Florent ready to apply the pressure. Cully. So much rest on the shoulders of these Melbourne leaders. Can they bring the youngsters along for the ride?
Well, it's Walsh that's got the responsibility on Cossey Pickett. If it's not him, they want to go shutdown. It's probably got to be George Hill, but he's on the bench to start this last quarter.
Since they keep on wrapping up Max's arms, he's lucky not to get a few more free kicks.
Is he getting it forward? What a time for the debutants! Cross! Paddy Cross has kicked a critical goal a week out from Easter. He's made his debut at the MCG. He's an AFL footballer. It's been that sort of afternoon. We saw the Carlton debutant Taylor Byrne early on do it, and now Paddy Cross, the 23-year-old, and he became a Melbourne player.
Well, they set his cover, but he just kept coming forward. What a good goal. Another one from a front half clearance.
They are back to 6 points. By 43 at one stage. Cripps takes Carlton forward. McGovern. Hayward was perfectly positioned to rove. And the ball needed to bounce a little sharper than that.
Good clearance there from the skipper. He's going to... It may well be the battle of the skippers. Is it Mick Max who gets them across the line? Or can Paddy Cripps do a replay of his first quarter?
Salem goes for Gorn. There's Tolstrup underneath and Sharp at the back.
Yeah.
They're so conscious of Big Max.
One for Max.
It was a great block from Mychik, which forced Pitnet to be a couple of metres behind. Oh, that's not a great kick.
No, it certainly wasn't. And well anticipated too by Chesser.
He probably had every right to try and take an intercept mark rather than just thump it over the boundary line, but it's a good result either way. These have cleared out their forward line, just got 3 within a kick of the football.
Pitnet gets right away. Cripps. Everywhere he goes, so does Jack Steele. Turning it back Melbourne's way. Chandler. Nice kick to Sharp. Can't quite complete the deal. Chesser knew it was coming. That's intense Melbourne pressure. We've had that for almost 2.5 quarters. Oh, Chandler's hurt himself on that kick. Windsor pokes it away. Gives Carlton and Hollands an opportunity to Walsh. Handball forward to Cripps. He was sharp enough. But is there a way forward for Chesser? It was a blind handball in hope more than anything. Petty's taken care of by McGovern. Walsh. Carlton needed something. That's all we can provide.
Well, it was a funny decision to come back when you're Chesser. He was running hard forward. He just had to go onto his left.
Spot on. He was shoulders out, facing goal, tried to cut back in. So just watch on the near side. Mychik's just trying to block Pitnet to allow Max to have a run at the football.
It was clever work by Melbourne, isolating at least one.
Delivered to Cully. Now Gorn had to turn around as the ball was headed his way.
Well
It
done.
matched it, smacked it back. It still could be a Melbourne ball, Steele. And Cripps bashing it out again, as they have since quarter time. Up in the air it goes. Gorn away from Cully, but it went to Mychik. The call is from Salem. Can he use that left foot? No, he can't. Windsor also constricted. And Carlton affect the turnover. What can they turn it into? Holland streaming through the MCG. Hard lead up from Mackay. Little limp as he stands. As quick as he can, he gets it down the line to Kemp, who pushed.
Oh, it's a horrible kick. But Paddy Cripps running by himself. They can't do a one-on-one when Cripps is on his own, and then it really dumb push in the back.
Hooker found it in the air. He's issuing instructions as he runs, and what a shape on the kick. It was too much though for Petty. And it goes back Carlton's way. Florent, can they capitalise on the error? Hayward has the half forward to himself. Mackay as his sole target. Disrupted in flight. The anxiety growing around the MCG. The contest continues. Out at half forward and we'll have a ball.
We've got 17 to play. It might just be the team that makes the least amount of mistakes. With the amount of options they've got forward of the football, through the middle of the ground.
It's a bit like that last night, Dell. The least bad team was able to win with Marvel.
You don't have to be the best, you just don't have to be the worst.
Walsh and Windsor. Ready to go at it again. Cripps to Walsh. Further handball across to Elijah Hollands. Is that the inspiration? Cripps, Walsh, Jagger Smith, and then Elijah Hollands. Kicks his second and kicks Carlton clear back to a 14-point advantage.
There's a beauty, this kid, Dell. I just hope he gets another 100 games under his belt. He's just got raw football skill and ability. And if you're going to, that's all, just nearly a throw there from Paddy Cripps. We'd like to have another look at that, but he got it out. And this kid, he knows how to play. Just got to give himself a couple of years of serious training to see the best of him. He could win the best and fairest. He's that good.
And he's given the Carlton fans something to be energised about too, hasn't he? And the coach, Michael Voss. We've seen this so many times. They need a different ending this time. Steele was patient. Good hands through the middle to Sparrow. The measurements are right on the kick. Sharp, Melbourne come again. 14 points. Here's the margin as it stands.
Good
Sharp
kick.
bombs away.
No, too deep.
Off hands, it needed to be a little bit.
That's out the full. Good stiff.
Frankie Evans. The deepest, darkest line of defence. And Ryan there with Lever at the back. Pickett with the football. A little bit too ambitious with the handball. Well played, Cowan. The Blues able to come away. Rainsworth, but not for long. Penny steps up. Oh, he's taken the kick to the inside. Blues were ready for it. Again, it was that man Hollins. A fumble from O'Keefe, though. Penny wins it back for Melbourne. Tolstrup's kick in the pocket. Blues have the numbers. Dean cleared for takeoff. Wiedering and Myercheck, and it's out.
Well, that's why you get frustrated when you're a coach and when you're a spectator. And you see top line players are playing in the ones and they drop footballs, they stuff handballs up. I mean, it's just basic fumbles, Del. We've all been guilty of it, but
Who can make the least amount of mistakes, Jared?
Melbourne's turn to the forward 50 again. Lewis Young, Rucking, Ainsworth, Walsh, and back again.
great kick.
Danger in the kick. It ends up being
That's clever.
real advantage of Harry Mackay.
So Max has come from the ground for a rest. Pitnet's followed him. He's going to mirror him for the remainder of this game.
So difference to a couple of weeks ago when Max played the whole last quarter, of course. Now it's Elijah Hewitt. Carlton with some time with the footy.
Cripps has just rolled forward as well, Hutto. He's got Tolstrup as his opponent, so they've been switching on him a little bit, depending on where he's playing.
Yeah, can go forward or back. And he has those defensive matchups.
Now, I'd be sticking it right on Cripps' head because Tolstrup hasn't played full back too often.
Ainsworth to Elijah Hollins. So this is a very patient, slow and steady, methodical build-up by Carlton. They won't feel safe. There's so much time still to go. Flirting with danger. Hollins been immense as this game has progressed. Oh, clear space. Easy run at the football. And Matt Carroll has just popped up in the goal square.
Well, he came from deep, extremely deep. Just lost his opponent on the way through. You see right at the top of screen. Looks like it's going to Kemp, and he just goes in front of the pack.
Kicked his first AFL goal last year. Matt Carroll to steady those Carlton nerves around the MCG. A couple of blows landed from the Blue Baggers.
Big Max's time on the sidelines is short-lived. He's back out there already.
Thanks, James. We'll keep an eye on Pitnet as well, whether he feels like he needs to come up to make that a fair fight. But it was well done. It was well done from Carroll. And it was Cully that didn't know whether to go with him or whether to sit the backside of that contest. And then ultimately gets caught in no man's land. And it's an uncontested mark. Did you like the build-up, Jared, the chipping of the round,
Yeah,
a little bit of maintained possession?
Ends up in a goal. It was pretty good. Thought that Elijah Hollins, he summed it up pretty well again. Got it in there. Got it deep.
Carroll has spent time on in defence, primarily as getting his opportunities on the wing this year and taking it at the moment. Walsh. Now Melbourne have to dig in again. Wins it to Salem. He's dragged down by the foot by Byrne. Lost his Dax, but not his composure. Plays it out wide. Lindsay off the left to Pickett. And Latrell takes the mark. Now, we've seen already that he needs no invitation to try and kick a goal. This is going to test just about anyone. He could use the stand rule if he wants, just to edge a little closer. Latrell Pickett, he does edge closer. And he does go for goal. And this is by a margin. With some choice words from Francis Evans. Lee Florin. Dawn willing himself to the front. Windsor, there's a host of D's there. Cully to Latrell Pickett. Lindsay. Not a bad shot of goal, but Collins going for the mark. Has touched it over the line and out of bounds.
It's a great result for the D's. Don't give the ball back to the Blues via a behind. Allows them to get set up.
Not satisfied. Found his face there on the bench. Travis spoke. There's your clearance winners. Into the clearance now. Close to goal, being able to convert. Instead of Hewitt, and pile on him. Oh, and it's holding the ball. Wow, what a call. Umpire, Brett Roseberry.
Step around.
They don't get much more experience than Brett.
Hands clear, but only for a split second.
Hot, red hot.
Well, if you didn't think prior opportunity was dead before that decision, it is definitely dead now.
I think he's counted the lifting of the arms.
Yeah, well, what are you supposed to do? Just give it straight back to him.
So Melbourne turn it to Harry Sharp. He's shown the ability this year to kick a goal. It's needed right now, and Harry Sharp delivers. Back to 14. It might not have been pretty football for 3 quarters, but we're headed for a thrilling finish.
Well, I think it's up to the Blues about how they want to finish off this game. As we have another look at this, holding the ball. I mean, the umpire is correct. He did move to his side, but I mean, what's the definition of prior opportunity? That is so tight.
R.I.P.
Yes, gone. But you'd like to think, Hutto, go back to the last 5 minutes prior to that score, that the Blues kick a couple of goals. So imagine the scoring opportunities you have, or you play the last 12 minutes defensively and just try and save the game. Hitting it back on the ground.
Certainly keeps it alive, though. They're right in this now, Melbourne.
Plenty of time remaining in this one. Pickett on the move. Comes into Walsh. Just angles the kick. Ainsworth digging in. He's matched though by Howes. Over the top, McGovern to try and tie it up for Carlton.
I know you won't believe this, I don't, but there was a time when you got about 6 steps.
I don't believe it, Jared.
You won't believe it. 6 steps for prior opportunity.
Go on, got his arms clear. You saw the result. Florent bats it back. Pick it up against the line. And it goes over. And that's going to be not last disposal. They might have a conference on this. Touched after the handball. Carlton fans not impressed. 14 points the difference. And they've just joined us. It was 43 at one stage in Carlton's favour. Bypassed a few, swinging a miss from Elijah Hollins. Gone back to Windsor, take the territory. Up comes Wiedering, lefty's man. Florence, good change of mind. A bit more aggressive, try to get it to Mackay. Across came Howes, maybe some interference, maybe not. Gone to Sparrow. Back they go again. Young for Carlton, the protection he needed. Well played, Jacob Wiedering. Lewis Young takes the mark, prepared to retreat a little. It got big on Ollie Hollins. This occasion has got big on Carlton again.
Well, they got Frankie Evans on the near side all by himself.
Ollie Hollins up to the members' wing. Gawn and Mackay. Gawn just disposed of Harry. Handball forward from Swallow to Van Rooyen. It's up in the air. We wait for a fly. It came from Cross. Fritz. Fritz, it's coming! It's got there!
That is just a brilliant goal from Fritz. It's great to see him back in his best form. Legend of the Melbourne Footy Club with his bag full of goals in the Premiership. And this is just a cracking kick.
Good contest from Cross too, wasn't it?
He's been good, Hutto, but gee, that's just instinctive. Hard to teach this kick. 2 steps, looks for space, gee, around the corner. It's a big kick round the corner.
Third goal for Bailey Fritsch. 10th for Melbourne. Crowd of 67,000. All glued to the middle of the MCG. It's back to 8 points. And Melbourne attack again. Sparrow to full forward. Not far away from Cross. He's leading out of the square. Feeds it back to Chandler. And then Pickett. Pickett! Wrong side. Again, it's back to 7 points.
You mentioned the crowd, Hutto. It is the second biggest home and away crowd ever between these two sides.
A lot of them here for Max Gawn, no doubt, but Melbourne fans enjoying the way they're playing football this year. And of course, being the Carlton home game, the Blues fans early in the season hoping that they can stave them off. High ball for Gawn. Mackay was amongst the hands. Sharp, though, wins the day through Howes and McDonald. Numbers are with Carlton. Momentum is with Melbourne. Cross flying again. Hollins almost ran out of room. Walsh, encircled by Melbourne players, found a way. Smith to Evans along the line. McDonald's over his head. Ainsworth with value, just plays on. Carlton has to keep attacking. A quick retreat, a full U-turn. Down the line, Kemp had no answer to Lever. And he takes off. The Stephen King mantra. But he sets up his teammate. And he goes over the line and out of bounds. And Frankie Evans gets the applause.
Well, once again, we see another player from the Blues, this time Ainsworth, looking forward. He's got one-on-ones in front of him and refuses to go there and would prefer to turn back. Just takes away seconds and flow from the game. Didn't want to back in his forward.
10 of the last 14 goals have been Melbourne's. How many have they got left in them? Jagger Smith getting it forward. Tolstrup on duty. Back to Pickett. At the top to Salem. He runs past, but Salem can kick a long ball. Langdon waiting for the crumbs. The fist from Chester was well directed. Down to Wiedering. Had the wherewithal not to panic. Kick around the corner to Ollie Hollins. They're being tested in defence here, Carlton. Standing up for now, although a Melbourne player isn't standing up, is down. As Byrne, the debutant, kicks to half forward. McGovern tries to rough up Petty, who fights back hard for Melbourne and takes it over the line.
Well, they've been pretty good the last couple of forays into their backline, Carlton. They've been under some serious heat, but they've worked the ball around, once on the members' wing and once on the Shane Warne side of the ground. Got the extra number there, which always helps.
Back in motion again, 7-point margin. Lindsay tries to get the run of it. Ollie Hollins had other ideas. Now Chesser, the tackle from Windsor, the Rapidan. Carlton kicked 6 goals to none in the first quarter. There was 1 goal each in the second. And then 6 goals to 2 for Melbourne in the third. They've kicked 3 to 2 in this final turn to be within 7 points as it stands. Latrell Pickett trying to wind his way through. He made the footy his. Clever tap. Langford, by any means, tries to get it forward. His leg, according to the output. No, dangerous kick.
Likely to cause injury.
Likely to cause injury to Ollie Flunk.
Well, for a game that was absolutely flat in the first half, she's turned into a cracking second half.
Lockie Cowan coming from the ground after that previous incident. So he's going to hobble his way.
Targets. That's a 20-metre kick. You just got to hit the target.
Carlton have won the last 4 games against Melbourne by an average winning margin of just 4 points. Looks like we're in for another nail-biting finish between these two teams. Gawn reaching over the top. Chester in a bit of a standoff. Florent heaving it forward for his new club. Lever again on guard. Without his old mate in defence, Stephen May, but doing a stellar job. The hands were great from Windsor. Lindsay, can he put it on the top of the teammate? No, it's Dean. Dean cutting across. The Carlton name the fans will adore. This next generation, a fumble from Carroll. Sharp was on the top of him, and it's going to be a ball up.
Let's celebrate the good part of that. It was the Dean intercept mark. He left his opponent cut off a certain mark.
But the ruckman not there. Thrown up. Jagger Smith. Evans, was he taken high? No, it's holding the ball. Again.
Let's go straight up.
Well, Hunter, if it was indeed tied, had to be holding the ball. Well, it slipped over because his goggles fell off.
Yep.
So it's probably a clear giveaway that it's touched his head at some stage.
Did he duck, though, I suppose, is the question. All that matters now is Kate Chandler. Gave up 7 goals. They've been chasing all day to cut the margin to 1. It comes down to Kate Chandler. His kick is true. There's a point here. Carlton.
Well, whether the free kick was there or not is irrelevant. Just a flat throw up. But Chandler is such a lovely kick. And that's what you've got under pressure. If you've got technique, you can always back it in. And he just nailed that goal. Whew.
The Blues are melting again before our very eyes. 6 minutes 43 remaining. All Michael Voss can do is watch on. The jubilation is all Melbourne's. Look at their supporters in the stand, on their feet. Gorn on his big day. Pickett out of the middle. Maniacal attack on the footy from Cully off the wing. Creative hands were good. Deep kick to full forward. And Ryan work underneath it by Young.
Had a couple of really good moments in this last quarter. Lewis Young.
Blues on the way out again. Going straight back to Pickett. He has a moment to think about it. They're only one kick out of it. Oh, desperation personified there from Ollie Hollands. Burn, swamped, but he turns the table. Taylor, great effort.
You'd love to see Bailey Fritsch come through the line of the ball. Well, this was the Cully one coming through the line of the ball. Such a good kick from Cozzy Pickett, but Fritsch just standing still.
What drama at the MCG. A hack kick from Pickett might do the job. Dean tried to spoil. Still alive. Langford! Langford! Go Harvey! D's in front!
The magical left foot. He looks as if he's in a bit of strife, does Harry, with a hamstring, I think. Maybe a corky. But the ability to swing on to the left when the defender thinks he's going to the right has been a party trick ever since football was alive. And there we see it again. What an exhilarating moment for a young player.
Harry Dean in the hands of trainers coming off the ground.
Extraordinary scenes at the MCG. We've seen it before though. Carlton fans have. From 43 points down, Melbourne now lead by 5. The only positive for Carlton is they have time to fight back again and show the character they need to.
You're spot on, Hutto, and it's not great that Harry Dean's coming from the ground after that spectacular attempt to spoil the football, but another moment for the Blues. Just to regain their composure. So here's the attempted spoil. Would absolutely take the wind out of himself.
Yeah, that's a big blow. Cozzy Pickett just looms as the danger man out of his centre clearance.
The pain is evident for Carlton. Unless they can change this final 6 minutes. There's an inevitability about it, it feels at the moment, but it can't be Carlton's attitude.
Cozzy's had the most touches for Melbourne in this term.
And now you have a look at what the D's have done. So they've brought up 3 additional half forwards just to put a lot of congestion and bodies around this football. They don't want any more space.
Hit net.
Zach Williams going off has been a big blow. Like, he was such a good player for them early.
Gorn and Pitnet both had to go. Sparrow has played inspired football in this second half. Myercheck wore it. And then the handball to Chesser sets him up for a fall. Intensity remains. Florent, good footwork initially. And his hands were good as well. Walsh, Carlton leaders. Can they do just that? No, it goes straight to Salem. Out wide to Myercheck. It's Melbourne's footy again. Fritsch wants it long. That's where the footy goes. Critical interception, Ollie Hollands. Brave. Composed. Marks out to Cowan. Wide for Kemp. Worked out of it by Howes. There's a way forward again for the Demons. Sharp. Florence. Trying to find out that it's touched. It's gone to the danger man. Pickett. Standing start. Outstanding
on this performance. I think they need to extend his contract.
You reckon they've gone unders, Jerry?
Gone unders.
That's his 16th disposal of the second half. His 30th of the game. And his best.
After quarter time, he has just put on a clinic as Cossie. And sadly for Carlton, they just haven't been able to match the moment. The pressure is built. They've just made horrific mistakes ball in hand.
Still 4.5 minutes. It's not over yet. Gone to Sparrow. To Pickett again. Expectations rise. Fritsch! They are an unstoppable train at the moment, Melbourne. Carlton have got no answers.
He just picks the eyes out of them. Space, no space, rarely wastes the ball going inside 450. A lot of people who just blast away from here, just want to get some depth on the football, not Cossie Pickett. He wants to find a mark.
They just can't move it now, Carlton. Cannot move it out of their defence. Had 10 goes into their forward 50 just once. Melbourne have just turned it over and just completed it, dominated.
From 7 goals down to almost 3 up. It's hard to imagine, but it's a reality for Melbourne that they will embrace, and it is just brutal for Carlton. It is happening again at the MCG for Carlton in the second half, and it's almost beyond them now.
Yeah, you're spot on. What a response. And this is what their fans are thinking. They're trying to save 3.5 minutes of their life to not watch this last part, Hutto. It is hard to watch, but it's a delight to watch Cossie Pickett. His ability to assess options. He had one on his right in sharp. He thought, nope, we're going to go to the middle of the ground. Premiership teammate in Fritsch, deadly in front of goal.
It's not a bad win for a coach in his third game.
It's been amazing, and that man has been for 250 great games. Carlton have to keep trying. Florent blazing away. Time for Mackay to stand up. And he goes back and kicks a goal here. It'll be on again.
Sam, can you take him out?
Harry Mackay knows that time is important, but what's really vital is he just goes back and delivers a goal, but he can't. Hits the post.
It's been a great response by the D's at stoppages, in particular the centre square ball ups. 6-3 their way in this last quarter alone.
There was 67,000 people at the MCG until 5 minutes ago. The aisles are being vacated. The Carlton fans, the Melbourne fans want to be there to honour Max. They want to honour this man who helped deliver them a premiership, and he's still standing after 250 games, 2 knee reconstructions. Good one, Max. Bangs it down the line. Van Rooyen, Steele, clump of Carlton players. Have they got anything left to give the Blues? Maybe. Cripps to Walsh. Sees off Salem. Couldn't get past Pickett. What a superstar.
How lucky we're here to watch this bloke play. He is unbelievable.
He was the igniter. Jared, he was the only one that was bringing the intensity when no one else was from a D's perspective. He has turned this on its head.
Out to Langdon. Margin is 16 points right now.
Ollie, come on, guys, let's go.
We are under that goals and minutes equation. Well may those two premiership stars embrace.
D's biggest comeback victory for 23 years, this one, Hutto. And Michael Voss cannot believe it.
Ed Langdon to finish it here and now. Good night, Carlton. Hello, Stephen King in Melbourne. The new era at the MCG is going to be something to watch. They forgot the starting time, but they know how to finish.
They were on Adelaide time, weren't they, Hutto? They were 30 minutes behind.
Yeah, it was quite amazing
Been
just how
incredible.
lacklustre they were. And then just to see this has been incredible. Showed many signs of the second quarter, but couldn't score, but dominated transition and dominated winning the ball, but couldn't put it through the sticks. And there's Big Max. I think it's going to be a show for the next 20 minutes after the siren, Hutto. Big Max will shake everybody's hand in the stadium.
90 seconds to play it out. O'Keefe, Florent, Steele, Sparrow, and Cully over it. They're going forward again. They're not done yet. Sharp couldn't get past Wiedering. Walsh, fumble from McGovern. It's all going Melbourne's way. Not much for Young. Oh, Mindset picks it up. He might as well get involved as well.
And we should acknowledge Tom McDonald's contribution as well. He has been an unbelievable soldier. He's had big moments. He's had some times where he's struggled, but as a career for this footy club, he's been a great.
He certainly has. Whatever he's been asked to do, he's done it.
Stand! Stand. Play on.
Hayward, Petty. Hayward again. And again, Melbourne come up with the answers. You're just not getting past them right now. Completely dismantled the Blues. Hollands. Awkward down there for Tolstra, but he did well. Cully, back to him again. 15 seconds left.
Give it to Cozzy.
Kick it or bounce. Chip his way across halfback. From 43 points down, this is extraordinary. Carlton have faced their second half demons again and failed miserably. But it's glory for Max and glory for Melbourne. A stunning comeback. One to remember forever for the D's. Those second half Blues have struck again. Melbourne win by 23 points despite just kicking one goal in the first half. Carlton kicked 6 goals to nothing in the opening term. It's a goal each in the second as Melbourne starts to turn the tide in the contest. But it wasn't until the third quarter they hit the scoreboard. 6 goals to 2 in the final term. They banged on 8 goals. The Stephen King mantra of playing attacking footy, paying dividends. The D's reached 100 and they win their second game of the season.
Well, it's just been a goal onslaught, hasn't it? 100 points. They kicked after kicking just one goal up until the last minute of the second quarter. That's a big score in a half of footy.
I love their ability to turn the game on its head, Hutto, particularly around the stoppage. They were getting smacked in the first half. Not only stoppages, but scores from 38 points to 0 in that first half, scores from stoppage. But then they win the second half, and a lot of it coming in that last quarter. An amazing turnaround.
Let's get down to Sarah Jones.
Tom, what an extraordinary comeback, what an extraordinary turnaround, and to do it in game number 250 and alongside Max, how does it feel?
A little bit surreal, to be honest. It did not look good in the first quarter, but yeah, just really happy for all the family and friends who come and watch today.
Take us inside that quarter-time huddle with Stephen King and what his message was and how you got back in the game.
Well, I think it was last week we were in the exact same position and we did come back but couldn't actually capitalise. So a lot of it was around being in the same position again and to play the same way, but just to add a few things to our game offensively to actually capitalise when we got the turnovers.
It's well known in the footy industry that Carlton has a tendency to fade out, certainly this year. Was that mentioned?
Not really. Like, we talked about how we were equal last week, and so we had the run. We thought we've got a good fitness base. But we didn't really mention them. It was more about, because it was us that was letting ourselves down in the first quarter.
How much of a joy is it to play in the same team as Cozzy Pickett?
Oh, yeah. God, he was electric today. Guys like him are just match winners. So I thought we knew he would step up. I think he, by his own admission, wasn't his best last week. And so he won us in that last quarter, I think.
Congratulations on 250 games. This is one to remember. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate it.
What a soldier he's been for the Demons, Tom McDonald, and he gets to enjoy his 250 celebrations. His wife and kids come to training regularly, and he says that's one of the motivations to keep playing footy. The joy he can bring his kids and family.
He's been a fantastic player for a long time, and I'm glad he hasn't been overlooked in this moment, given what Max Gawn has done in his career. And again today, I thought Max was significant, changing his style from tapping it in close to getting outside that inner circle.
He's just got the energy to get himself across to Sarah Jones.
He ran over here, such as Max's energy and height, but right now, 250 games. What an achievement and what an extraordinary game. How do you sum that up?
Yeah, we got caught napping pretty early. Not sure what happened there. It's 2 weeks in a row, so... Oh, 3 weeks. So Kilda got us early as well, so we got to address that. But, yeah, we got going, hey. Bailey Fritsch, Cozzy Pickett, Harry Sharp, Kate Chandler. Forward line looks good when those boys get going.
Were you confident that once you brought the pressure, you got on top with the clearances, that things could slowly grind away?
Confidence wouldn't be a word I'd use after quarter time, but once we got the game going the way we wanted to, and I actually kicked a few goals in the second quarter against momentum, which can deflate a team, but I felt like we stayed upright and then got going, obviously, in the second half.
Cozzy Pickett is such a special talent. Is there a mantra within the team just to get the ball in his hands as much as possible?
Yeah, he gets pretty close attention, and I think he got maybe Georgie Hewlett late in that game, but to leave him by himself for a lot of that game, we thought let's utilise him, and I don't know, he probably had over 30 kicks and kicked a pretty good goal.
Pretty good goal indeed. It was awesome. Your own career in getting here, we know the knee reconstruction. Tell us about how sweet it was to be able to run through the banner with your family. Was it George that wasn't too happy with things?
Yeah, it wasn't sweet at all, was it? I gave them one moment. Their whole life's about George and Lillian. I asked for one moment to go through the banner, and he was pretty psyched, to be honest, all morning, and then it's a bit overwhelming. He's only 4, so he got to experience it. I'll go to him now, and I'll be like, how was the banner? And he'll be like, oh, it was the best time ever. So he'll forget about it, but maybe he might get involved in this chair off.
He wasn't the blues fan, was he? He just sang the song that time.
He sang the Melbourne song this morning. I've brainwashed him.
Good work. They're waiting to cheer you off. A special moment. Enjoy it, Max. Congratulations.
So,
What a man he is. What a great Melbourne man he has been. He's embraced the change. We're waiting for Max and T-Mac. Lifted off together. They went through the tough times. Ended up being premiership players together. And they can do it all. They've put together a stunning comeback. So it's all the joy if you're a Melbourne fan here at the MCG. We're watching on. An incredible 23-point victory, a 66-point turnaround.
Well, he's had an incredible career. They both have, but Max in particular has been the superstar. But I guess it just tops off the legend that is Max Gawn. That he gets a 250 chair off after a 63-point turnaround, where they looked like they couldn't get out of their own shadows, get out of their own way in the first quarter, and finally started to turn it around.
There's been a conversation for the last 12 to 24 months about Max possibly being the greatest ruckman of all time. I think that word possible is becoming less and less and more definitive towards the number 11 and the captain of the Melbourne Football Club. He rarely has a day off, rarely has a bad day, rarely is beaten. And what a fitting way. Maybe it sums up his career a little bit as well. Tough early on in that first quarter, things weren't going their way. And the back end of his career has seen some incredible highlights, just like today did as well.
There's been a big turnaround. New coach, new CEO, new president, Stephen Smith. He was a great player for Melbourne in a difficult era. But they'd be thrilled with this start, Hutto. 2-1. And the second victory, one of the great victories they've had for a long time.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be realistic about where they're at with a really young midfield. But it was just such an all-round performance, wasn't it, through the demographics, both the older players, if we have a look at what's ahead for them. It might be easy, but there's some winnable matches for them there with the Bombers and the Tigers in particular.
Let's say they go 50-50, let's play even. They've won 2, they've lost 1 to this point, they go 50-50. They actually put themselves in a really good position at the end of round 7.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Blues do, because I think they've got to look to the future. I just think that they could get another runner into the team, into the middle, have Cripps going as that midfield forward, use him forward a little bit more. They've just got to try and find another way, because what they've got at the present time hasn't worked for a couple of years.
I think what they've got to do is lose the first half, Jared.
Move on.
Lose the first half and then just flip the script if they can.
It's that simple. I like your theory, Hunter.
Getting leads is just not
like your theory.
Extraordinary, really. They just got to live through it and win one, don't they? Then hopefully put that behind them. But it's not just about that, as we're alluding to there, Jared. Demon Spirit, there's plenty of it. Paddy Cross, what a day for him to debut. He played his part.
Didn't he?
Divided goal.
Big goal.
Led well out of
Bailey Fritz looks like he's back to his best, so he's showing some size today, his best game. Obviously this year, but maybe even from last year.
2 goals for Bailey Fritz. Back to the range as you'd expect. Waiting for the Melbourne Heroes to arrive. And they're ahead of the ledger at 2-1. And after a great win, what better than a great song to sing?